Oh. Sitting here waiting on you, and you're going to Oxnard. Great.
No, he said it. I thought everybody heard him.
Bump. That was one of the weirdest fucking
Definitely a child.
10-second conversations that I've had.
Milk. That's what your name says.
Milkman Dan. Alright. Maybe that kid's on some weed or some shit. He's on that wacky shit.
He's on something.
Roscoe, what are you doing way back there? Truck on your left.
Y'all pulled up.
Well,
Nah.
yeah, I didn't want to go flying.
Yeah.
Here's two
Mr. Uncle Man.
Two coming up.
All right, y'all go ahead.
We'll wait till Julian Lathrop gets by, and then we'll hammer out.
Lathrop.
Whatever.
It's King Julian.
Hello there, Ikes. Safe travels, boys.
King Julian, come back.
Hey, I get that code a lot at work.
Where are you guys heading to?
Well, we're going through Bakersfield, so we can pick you up there, but we're heading up to, like,
Yeah, I just joined into
Washington.
Washington.
I'm
Let's
heading
see
to,
if
I'm heading to Everett.
Let me see if I got anything going.
I don't know where the
on.
fuck Roscoe's going. I don't care where George's going.
Abbotsford. Abbotsford.
I don't
You
care
know-
where either one of them are going, because they're going
You
up
know
there.
we're going to Canada, so
Yeah.
A.
Hit me up a couple bottles of maple syrup.
we'll get you some back bacon while we're
That's
up
another thing we're actually talking about doing on the farm this year. Running our own
Back
sap
bacon?
lines. Running our sap lines.
there. Running zip lines.
Sap lines.
Tree
I
sap.
know. I fucking heard.
Sap. S-A-P.
Jesus.
Sap, sap.
I know. I
shit you
heard.
put on
I was
pancakes.
making a
The shit
fucking
that comes in
joke,
that
you
glass bottle.
goddamn moron.
You put it on your fucking pancakes, sometimes with butter.
Can't
Be
make
back
a
in a
fucking
few.
joke in here anymore. Jesus
Fucking
Christ.
hey.
I can't believe it's not butter.
Bunch of loose lip motherfuckers, I swear.
Hey. You hired us.
You can't make a joke. You can't make a joke in your channel. Yeah, get eaten sick.
Hey. You hired us. This is
Hey.
your fault.
And I was right for doing so.
Well, look what you gotta put up with, though.
Yeah, well.
Okay. The first I've got is going to Denver.
Hey, you
I
can't
don't
park
even-
that there.
I don't even see you in this.
Yeah, we gotta stop. There's a jackass in it. You need to turn left here.
Oh, you guys are just
brakes
driving right
work.
by the garage. Hey, old buddy.
Malika Jean! I haven't seen you since I was prospecting on Subterrell. Star Wars.
Yeah.
No shit.
Uh,
It's a Camino dark.
Camino Saber Dog.
Yeah, it depends on how your manners are and how big your pocketbook is.
Go straight on.
What? What are you doing, guy?
Get the hell out of the road.
No, on the road. He's starting to back up.
If you can't drive that thing, leave it in the friggin' barn.
He started back up right
And
in
his
front
name
of me.
is Jesus. His name is literally Jesus.
Go straight on.
Jesus, amen.
Jesus, can't you read? Hit tab.
Hey,
Roscoe getting a shout out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you've seen me before.
In what way?
Don't know. Not sure. Probably
He
up
saw
here.
Roscoe showering without his war bonnet on. That's what it was.
All right, man.
That reminds me of that movie Wind Talkers. The guy's like, Chief? How'd you know I was a chief? Must have saw me showering with my war bonnet. Best response.
Look at this jackass.
ever.
He missed the turn. Hit the guardrail because he missed the turn.
Oh, that was fucking hilarious. That was. That was funny, Julian. I'm sorry, but that was funny.
Yeah, he's up in that corner there, buddy.
I meant to take that exit that you took.
I know he did. I know he hit the guardrail instead.
Oh man, I gotta get gas. Hold on, fellas.
Yeah, we noticed
No,
that.
no,
We saw
no.
you hit the guardrail. That
Keep
was
going.
funny.
We're gonna stop up here and wait on Fluffy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That was some bullcrap.
I was gonna say you guys want to keep going because I don't have any loads heading that way anyway. It's up to you.
We'll look around for some and.
I have
on the way
everything
up
heading in
through
the
here.
opposite direction.
We'll look for some heading up the way through here.
Yeah, there's one up the way.
Yeah, there'll be one up here.
I just had a fucking scab rip. Oh, that hurt. Felt like something was stinging me. Wow.
Oh, we'll wait on you. You got a dead head sometimes. We do.
Yeah, there's a gas station after this first weigh scale, John.
Yeah, I know. Not like I've never driven 5 before.
I was just letting you know. I'm trying to be helpful. You could say thank you. God, some people, you try to help them.
I could say thank you, but I'm not going to.
Thank you, Dan.
You're welcome, Roscoe. Nice to be appreciated.
Oh, well, thank you, Dan. I appreciate it so much.
Nah, you missed your chance now. Fuck off.
Would you like some
Oh.
refreshments, Dan?
Actually, yeah, you got a drink? I could use a beer.
Laces out.
Dan.
He's like, want a refreshment? I'm like, yeah, got a beer? What up, Lumber? Hey, if you're looking for a company, check us out, xarmytrucking.com. We'll hire any good driver.
If you suck, you can eat ass.
I don't know what he said. What did he say, Roscoe?
He's not saying anything.
He said he keyed up on my end. He went
He
by.
keyed up, but I don't think he's on my channel. I don't know.
You on 19?
Yeah, I'm on 19, but
No, we're on 5.
Don't stop. You behave. You need to
Alright.
behave.
I've always wondered who Have is, because my whole life, everybody told me to behave, and I've never met the man.
That's like when you were in school and the teacher told us to tell you in your own words. Like, I don't have my own words. I use the same words as everybody else.
I have my own words.
The next time somebody tells you to tell them something in your own words, go, he got and did bad and cotton good heighten.
No, I say Nick Blarney Flundov Flun.
oh, now we're speaking German.
That wasn't
No.
even German. That was George
That one-
Carlin. That was
That was
Carlin.
George Carlin. That's what that was.
Let me fix my wheel. God damn, that hurt like a son of a bitch too.
Horse flacken.
Did you sit on a nut?
No, I had a scab that my cat scratched me on, right? And I put my hand on my pant leg and it felt like a bee was stinging me.
He was hauling a boat.
It was my skin ripping apart. Now I'm bleeding on my wrist.
Club Joker.
They're like Club Penguin, only different.
Yeah. Excuse
Remember those days, Malik? Club Penguin?
No, yeah. I was never into it.
I
Wasn't
tried
my
it.
thing.
Who's
I
this
tried
guy
Club
that pulled
Penguin.
up on us?
Oh, I muted this guy. This is one of the guys that I muted while we were in Roswell, John.
Love this express jackass.
Where the hell did you come from?
That motherfucker stalking us, man.
Hey, Nerf for nothing. Have a good run, brother.
You too, bud. You too. You gotta
Is it, dude?
safe convoy then.
Hey, Nerf. Have fun going.
That looks
north,
like an
man.
orgy.
We'll be up there at some point.
It looks like an orgy.
I'll see you up there.
See you up there, Speedy.
All right, hasta la taco.
I'm not. Did you say something there, Roscoe? I was just gonna go get. I just stopped here for 420 there and coffee break here. Yeah, I'll be heading north as well. Copy that.
10-4 there, buddy. Headed to Canada.
No, I'm just up to Salem there. Yeah, started
That's it?
in Roswell. Not
I want
long
a set of
one,
triples now.
No, we had to stop here because there's a lot lizard that Roscoe
Had
really
enough of the
likes,
doubles?
and we had to stop here for him for a second.
Copy that. Yeah.
God damn it.
No, usually it's a 2-hour run.
You guys
I
want to
stop
head
there
out, you
midway,
can.
so
My
I need to
wheel's
take
giving me a hard
you know,
time again. I
number
can't get
one
this
there
thing
and
to fucking work.
What's your
and
problem?
a fill up there. Yeah.
It was working good. Like I had everything set up, and now it's just the sensitivity for the steering is fucked. I gotta figure this shit out.
We can wait. You guys waited for me, so.
It's up to you. I don't know how long it's gonna take. This thing's fucking annoying.
Well, if it takes an hour or something, that's something different. But figure it out. You got 10 minutes.
Knowing my brain, it could take an hour.
Get on it. Act like you're in the military.
If I only had a brain.
Hey, John, look at Roscoe's truck rocking back and forth.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
they waited for Milkman
doggy.
and they don't even like him.
Ooh la
Get it,
la.
son.
Ooh la la. Ooh la la. Got any cigarettes?
Get it, son. Get it, son.
It's not that girl wearing that G-string, is it? Because that's gonna cut her in half if she goes bowling.
Well, she's playing with some kind of balls. That guy honked at us.
He did, yeah. I heard it.
It's fucking great. Look at him. He's actually rocking his truck back and forth. Damn it, Gina, I told you I had to grab that lever. Fuck all the chains on the headache rack are just making a whole bunch of noise. The truck's rocking like a motherfucker.
Ching.
Sounds like Santa's sleigh going up a fucking mountainside. Ching, 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 ching.
Sounds like a Chinese mountain.
No, that's chink, 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 chink. Cindy Lou Who. Yoo-hoo! From Syndicated. What's up?
Just getting some fuel. How you doing?
Holy
Oh,
shit.
yes. Yes, oh boy. Want some candy? I got free Wi-Fi in my sleeper.
Oh my god.
Got some popsicles.
Well, we're
in my
just taking a
hand.
break, waiting on
And
driver.
she stopped with you guys?
You sitting there?
10-4 on that.
Ooh,
Oh, she
Sexy
stopped.
it is a chick.
She's got a sexy voice. I like her.
Well, someone jump the hell out of the truck and get over there and say hi.
Hey,
I
I
gotta
like
get
that
these-
paint job.
Well, thank you very much, sir. Our company colors. I just parked my real work truck. Now I gotta go drive this work truck for a little while.
Well, at least you're hauling a light load.
Yeah, I hate
Better
them
mine.
wussy trucks going up and down hill.
That's why we drive W900s, not Freightliners.
Hey, you don't have to talk to me about them Freightliners. I drive a Cascade in real life, and it sucks.
Damn, Steve.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
10
I'm
bar.
gonna
You guys be
Shame-
safe. Have a good one.
Shame Steve couldn't have heard that.
I know.
I didn't
You
hear it.
too. That was funny. She said.
I was gonna say there, those Keurig K-cups there, changing subject.
She said she's got a
Unless
Cascadia
I'm
in real
losing
life and it
kind of a
sucks.
cut in between you guys. Keurig K-cup, perfect little rig there, 5-minute coffee.
Oh man, look at that, man. He's got them.
Hey, I want to get them tankers. How do you get those?
Oh, and here comes the game's only good-looking Roscoe.
Well, it's a mod there in regular mod shop there in your workshop in game.
Hey, Steve, kiss my ass, man.
I'll check it out.
Falling
Thanks.
Fanta. So Charles here, JC. Good to see you, brother.
Hey, look,
Hey,
there
cop
goes the
that,
other.
you're right behind me there, yeah. You're
There
gonna be
goes the other
tagging up there
Roscoe.
on my 6.
Yeah, that's the other Roscoe. We
That's
saw
the other-
him.
That's the
What
other
is
guy
it
got
again for?
muted.
On your left, brother. On your left.
Roswell.
We saw him Roswell. Yeah.
Hey, Groove, yeah, copy that. I see you guys. Yeah, yeah. I'll tag up behind you guys.
Yeah, she said I got home from work and now I'm gonna drive this truck. And it was like, oh yeah, what you do? Oh, I drive a truck. I got a Cascadia in real life and it sucks.
He said it sucks. Yeah, she said it just like that.
She did. And it sucks.
I forgot Steve wasn't close to us, so I was like, damn, Steve.
All right, who's the Joker who's stuck in reverse?
Steve couldn't hear her in real life.
Damn it, Roscoe!
It was him.
Every time we stop, every time it's always Roscoe.
I did it on purpose.
Probably.
That was some funny shit.
How's it
And
going
it
over there, Mike?
sucks.
Still giving me a hard time trying to figure it out though. I think it's my dead zone. Like, it's not letting me change my steering dead zone. Cause like I'll turn my wheel and it'll just automatically fly to the one side of the truck, and then I'll turn it the other way and it'll do the same thing in the opposite direction. Like there's no in between.
What steering wheel you have?
I got a Thrustmaster.
That's
Well, ask Steve about that. He's in here. He's got Thrustmaster, don't you, Steve?
Mine never does that.
Yeah, it's never done this before. I don't know what the hell's going on. I've never had this problem, and I've
Check
had
your
this wheel
cords.
for I don't know how long.
Have you restarted?
I was about to try and unplug it and plug it back in and see if that helps.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
see if
right.
that helps. Then.
Check your cords, man.
Yeah, I might have to. I don't know what's going on.
They should have a
AFK
piece
check.
underneath where you have your cords at, where you could just wrap your cord around it once you plug it up and everything like that.
Everything should have an on and off kill switch. They have them on the back of the computers.
Yeah.
Everything's out. Controllers, wheels, TVs, everything's to reach up. Joe, didn't they used to have an emergency stop buttons on semi trucks back in the day? Like
Well,
just
how do you mean emergency stop? You mean for to shut off all electrics, or to just stop the motherfucker fast?
no, it's to shut off all the truck itself.
Electric.
Okay, I saw an old Kenworth that had a
No.
emergency stop button. You'd hit it and it would kill the truck. Wouldn't electrical in the truck wouldn't start.
Well,
It's like a kill switch.
no. Not normally.
Because you think that you would want that on something this big, if your throttle gets stuck or something.
Well, there used to be a thing on the column that kind of worked like the red pop switch for your trailer brakes, but it was sensitive. So if you over throttled, you could start to pull it back a little bit, and it would increase breakage to all brakes. And then the more you pull it back, it had like 10 inches of play in it. So the more you pull it back, the more it would increase brake pressure at all the brakes. And just shut the truck down if you pull it all the way back. It'd be the same as pulling both the red and the yellow knob at the same time, and just stop it if you just yank it all the way back.
Okay,
But
guys, if you get this load done, you pass piston.
yeah, that's what we're figuring.
Damn, who's coming in now?
But
Tank War. Talk War?
but
Tank War.
That's not an N though, is it? It's an H.
It's an N.
It's like an H with the fuel pump in there.
but not a kill switch for cutting off all electrics or anything that I know of that I've ever seen.
Yeah, because you know how like power machines in factories you can hit the button and it won't work.
Yeah.
Something like that. I thought they used to have something like that. I could have swore I seen something like that on a truck once before.
I've never seen it on a big truck. And I've drove some
But when did you start driving?
60s and 70s models. I started driving in very early 90s, like
Yeah,
94.
I saw it on a 72 Kenworth. That's why I was wondering.
But I've drove 60s and 70s trucks when learning how to drive.
I'm gonna Google it. See if they have an answer.
Now, for certain shit, I would pull fuses. Because there's ABS on trucks, and we were talking about this earlier. There's ABS on trucks, and there's an ABS light on the trailer that says the ABS is on. I don't like ABS. I like to be in control of my truck, not the fucking computer. So, I would often unplug that, and if I go to a weigh station, then I pop that fuse back in, so the light's back on. But
Have a good one, OTR.
Hey guys, have a good convoy. Have a good day.
You know, yeah. So this is here. It's called an ignition disconnect. It kills the ignition kill switch.
you can pull a fuse for that. You ain't closer, Fluffy?
No, it's still doing it. I'm trying to figure it out. If you guys want to head out though, you can. I'll just figure. I'll do a load later or something. Just hang out and talk.
Because I'm getting my anxiety's kicking my ass. I gotta move.
Yeah,
Yeah, just get rolling.
We're gonna punch out.
That's cool. I don't know why it's doing what it's doing.
I'm gonna hate next week. Oh, John, by the way, I found out what days I'm not gonna be here. It's Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Of this week?
Next week.
Okay. The fire marshal ever get back and say what was going on?
The
Or?
report should be in by Friday. But regardless of what happened, we still gotta replenish our wood. So.
Well, I know that, but I was just
No.
wondering if the fire marshal report came out.
I don't know. I haven't heard nothing. They might have it, but I was told it should be as late. It could be as late as Friday before we get it. So.
Okay. So Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, you're going to be camping out. So you missed those two convoys. Hopefully you'll be out on Sunday.
It depends on how tired I am. It might take me a day or two to recover.
Well, it gives you Friday and Saturday to recover. But you can't lose your standing, because if you are
I
out
know.
too
I gotta
long,
beat Ross. I gotta beat Roscoe.
you stay out too long, Steve might get ahead of you.
Steve ain't gonna get it. I mean, Steve far back. Steve ain't gonna get. No. He needs his morning donut and his afternoon nap. He ain't never gonna catch me.
Yeah, famous last words.
Wait, I'm like, Steve here, I can
You,
back up.
you
He
just
said, "Can I
announced it.
talk?"
You just announced it in front of Steve. You're gonna be gone those 3 days. He
I
might
know.
do He might do 15,000 miles in a
Nah.
day. He's
Nah,
retired.
Steve
He's
will.
not doing anything else.
Never know. It doesn't mean I can't go up to the office computer up there and sign in up there and grab on a keyboard. We do have an office computer.
You might need to, because if Steve starts busting out 15,000 miles a day, that'd be 45,000 miles in the 3 days you're gone.
Steve can't run that hard. I don't think Steve has the ability to run that hard. Steve has a life. That's Steve's thing.
Hear that, Steve? Another gauntlet thrown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he started it.
Mm-hmm.
He started it.
Send my 6-year-old granddaughter out to New York to kick his ass.
Yeah. That. I ain't afraid to hit a child.
Damn.
You just gotta be afraid of her mother. That's
Yeah.
all you.
Her grandmother.
I don't care. I'll fight them all. I don't give a shit.
Damn.
Jesus Christ.
I'll fight them all. I don't care.
My wife will castrate you in your sleep with
You have to
the
catch
cut
me
off
first.
lid of a tuna fish can.
You have to catch me first.
All right, Riddick. Death by teacup.
Death by teacup?
Yeah. Yeah. Death by teacup.
Oh, the master switch. That's what it's called. Apparently, the new Kenworths have them.
Go straight on.
And W900 models from the 60s? Kenworth model from the 60s to the early 70s. According to this. Apparently, it's a Kenworth thing.
Back
Yeah.
then, I
Because-
was driving 60s, 70s, and 80s Max and Internationals.
Because the one I saw had the red trailer brake on the left, the yellow on the right, and in the middle it was green. And it said master switch.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, and you hit that, and it kills. Your truck won't start.
I never dared to push the motherfucker.
Now that's what that does. It's a kill switch. Now you know.
Go straight on.
Now you know what it does.
I've seen it in one truck.
Yeah. They started tapering off. I guess they really only used it for guys who were on mountainsides if the throttle was stuck wide open. I guess that's the only time they really used it. I would want one of those if I was running in my truck.
Hey, look up the column
Keep right
brake.
and then turn right.
Was
Heard
it-
of that before.
The old trucks had a column brake, and
Turn
the
right.
further you pull it back towards yourself, the more air pressure it put towards the brakes. It wasn't on and off.
Yep. That's what happens when you look at your phone. I killed it.
Doink. Yeah, you killed it
Go
all right.
straight on.
I killed it.
Yeah, and you're dancing around in circles.
Yeah, he hit a pole.
Oh, hell, I hit a bridge abruptment.
Yeah, it looked like a pole from here.
Well, it was the start of the guardrail. How much damage did I do? I don't think it did much damage. Yeah, 10% damage, and I hit that son of a bitch doing 80. I'm good. It just shut my fucking truck off. See? Now, if I had had a kill switch in my truck,
You could have killed it.
Alright, back to looking at my phone. trying to steer and ship with one fucking hand. Get back over here.
That's easy. I've done that and took a piss in a bottle at the same time.
I'll have to look it up later. All I'm getting is news.
I gotta go. Catch you later.
All right,
Bye.
man.
Bye, Steve. Bye, Peepaw. Bye, Peepaw.
Got a truck in the far right lane in between an on-ramp and an exit ramp. You shouldn't have to move over though, he's not moving. Yeah, every time I look up, it's like column break, definition of word. And I'm like, what the fuck? It's all this other weird shit. It's got nothing to do with that.
Go straight on.
My dad used to tell me about the fucking cruise controls they used to have. They used to have to pull the little knob out and twist it.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a throttle lock. Then
Uh-huh.
if you wanted to unlock it, you had to push the gas out even farther, then unlock it and let off. And he's like, if you wanted to get killed driving a cab over, that was the way to do it. Because that
Oh,
place
yeah.
were notorious for...
I've driven cab overs like that before.
Yeah, he says they were notorious for getting stuck. Which is why Kenworth put in the kill switch. Because then you got to disconnect the battery for 10 minutes before you can restart the fucking truck. Well, I'm just having all sorts of problems tonight. I'm hitting shit, and wheel isn't working right, and buttons are fucked up, and... Fluffy, you and I just ain't having a good night, man.
No, apparently not. I'm still trying to figure out what the hell's going on. My dead zone is right where it needs to be, and it's still acting like a fool.
You try uninstalling your drivers and reinstalling your drivers?
I might have to look at my drivers. That might be the problem. What the hell?
I got an ATS and I hooked my wheel back up on my new computer. And I started to drive, and I'm like, no pedal? No wheel? What the fuck? I'm like, oh, yeah, new computer. Need to reinstall drivers. Duh. Did he finally leave, or is he still just hovering in here all quiet and shit?
Steve said he left.
Well, he does that, and his profile stays in the fucking thing.
Yeah, I know it.
Uh-oh. Ooh. Oh. 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 Ah.
Steve's bedtime anyway. He normally goes to bed about 9 o'clock.
I think he fell asleep, and he's like, I gotta go to bed. I'll see you guys later. Because he sounded like he was leaving in a hurry.
I think his wife was probably niggling him to get off the damn game.
Dan, did you see what they're finally doing to Red Dead?
No,
We're getting high-stake robberies and all this stuff coming this summer.
Well, it's all Joe Biden's fault. Everything else is, so, you know. And if you believe that, I've got some oceanfront property to sell you, but it's in Nebraska, so.
Speaking about oceanfront property, if the sea levels are going to rise as bad as they're saying they are and all this,
Yeah.
why is it that beachfront property and real estate are still a thing at a very high level?
Because right now,
Like, you would think if there was any serious immediate threat to that thing, like within 10 years or so,
nah, it's not
They
going to be
would-
10 years. That's
they
not going to
would,
be 10 years.
no,
That's not
it'll
the
be
way the oceans
thousands
work.
of years. It'll take forever.
Maybe hundreds. Hundreds,
Because the
I
oceans
would
will
say,
take-
but
rivers and ponds and lakes will take in what overflows to the oceans.
no, it didn't work that way. But when you're speaking about oceanographics, it takes a while for water to flow from where it's melting to where it actually goes into
Fresh water?
course throughout the planet, because when you look at the Pacific Ocean, how large it is and everything, it takes a while for water to flow that way, because water flows really slowly at sea level. So the oceans have risen, but only just by inches since I've been alive.
Yeah. And
But it has risen.
like, I'm not denying the fact that humans have an influence on it. I'm sure we do.
But it's minimal.
I argue to the degree, because they've been saying the world's oceans are going to flood, and they were saying that about that in '89, about that that was going to happen in 2000.
Well, really, to be honest with you, looking at it from a scientist's point of view, because I am a scientist, the amount of impact.
All right, you guys have fun going north now.
You too. The amount of carbon fluorocarbons that we pump in the atmosphere is nothing compared to a volcanic eruption.
Oh.
And we have anywhere from 50 to 100 of those on planet Earth per year. And you've got hydrosulfates and all kinds of shit
They've got
going
that
in the
shit going
atmosphere.
on in the oceans too, and that gas goes up to the surface.
Yeah, it bubbles up. But
Yeah.
the human carbon footprint is minimal comparative to the way the Earth actually fluxes. The Earth is going nowhere. People are. Alright? We're all gonna die. The human race will die at some point.
Yep. At least on this planet.
At least on this planet.
We don't know how long that's going to take. We can only estimate.
The Earth has gone through many fluxes of really hot periods, really cold periods, ice ages, and
Great thaws, milk ice ages,
and then keeps on just
chugging along.
doing its rotation, and it's completely natural for that to happen. Oh shit! I also have a minor in geology, but anyway, it just does this normal thing. Now, right now, we're a few hundred years, I think 213 years or something like that, behind on the magnetic reversal of the poles, which is gonna fuck shit up. That's the biggest thing we've got to worry about right now, really. Because that's really gonna fuck shit up. Because us in the northern hemisphere are all of a sudden gonna be in the southern hemisphere.
It's gonna be hot as fucking Satan's nutsack.
And then everybody in the northern hemisphere is gonna be in the southern hemisphere. So that's gonna fuck up compasses. Planes are gonna crash. It's gonna be massive fucking hysteria. That's gonna be the worst thing that we've got.
Earthquakes and tsunamis.
Yeah, it's maybe not earthquakes and tsunamis, because the way there's three different reasons why earthquakes happen, really, and then tsunamis are a derivant of
Tectonic plates.
Yeah.
Something I remember from school. I actually remember that.
Okay, so what three types of tectonic plates really are
Don't
there?
go that. Don't go that way. 'Cause I don't know.
That's where the gap of knowledge is for people like us. We just know of tectonic plates.
Okay. So you can have two plates pushing against each other and moving a plate, right? And that'll cause an earthquake as they move. And then of course you have within each plate you have gap plates, which are throughout the United States. The gap plates, because if you best way I can, and I can describe this, is imagine an orange, okay? And you've got rock wrapped around part of the orange. Okay, what is going faster, near the pole or near the equator? The rock that's going around the orange.
Even Roscoe's doesn't have a clue. He's like,
Which is going faster?
I would imagine the inside.
I'm not talking about the inside of the orange. I'm talking about the rock that's on the outside. So if you have rock going around an orange, because basically the Earth is a big orange. So what's going faster, and keep in mind, this is one big hunk of rock, right? So if it's going around, say it's going east to west, because the northern Pacific plate, which we're on, is going east to west. It's going east to west at approximately 3 feet per year. So at the equator, is it going faster, or at the North Pole, is it going faster?
I would say at the equator.
No, I say North Pole.
Fluffy?
I have no fucking idea. I'm not even gonna make myself look dumb with an answer because I just don't know.
Okay. At the North Pole, or near the North Pole, where the rock ends, it's going really fast because it's taking up less distance to get around the planet, right?
Well, that's what I meant by the inside when I first said the thing. I just didn't remember the word you were trying to describe it.
Now at the equator, it's got to try to make up that space and go faster than what's at the North Pole to try and make up the distance. So in the meantime, we have these things called faults throughout the United States, and they're slip faults, so they make up the difference between what's going on at the North Pole and what's going on at the equator.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's why we have earthquakes often, even in the middle of the country, like Kentucky and Missouri and
There's a fault line right
like
there.
that.
There's a fault line.
There is.
Yeah.
There is. There's a major fault line right there, and that's what that is. That's a slip fault to take up the distance, because what's going around the North Pole is if it moves 2 feet, bam, it's there. Whereas the equator, when you get down all the way down that way, it's going really slow comparative. So in order to make up that 2 foot distance that it does up there, it has to move like 13 feet. But it can't do that. So since it can't move 13 feet, then you have all these slip faults in between that take up the slack.
So
They call them sister faults.
the question isn't really whether or not we can stop the climate change. It's the question of whether or not how well we can prepare for that polarity shift that you're talking about.
Well, and then you have two other types of real big problems, like the San Andreas fault. That is
you might as well write California off.
Well, no, it really has nothing to do with California. The San Andreas fault is a plate that is running underneath of California. The San Andreas fault is smaller now than it was when I was born. The Pacific plate is moving over the top of, or the Pacific side of the North American plate is moving over the top of it, and eventually the San Andreas fault will be no more, because it'll just move it off into the ocean, because the west side of the North American plate is moving to the west by, like I said, 3 feet per year on average. And that will cover it over, and it'll be gone at some point. But that fault is a different type of fault. It's a transform fault, So that fault is going north to south, while the Pacific plate is going from east to west.
What about that fault by
So
the Hoover Dam?
that's a slip fault.
All right.
Roscoe's just like, all right.
Yeah, it's not that big a deal.
Right.
So eventually St. Andrews will be gone. However, because it's a transform fault or whatever, it's going north to south, and that's why when the North American plate shifts, then it shifts to try and make up the slack, because it's a completely different fault. And that's why roads get cut in half, and all of a sudden a road is like 4 feet over and the telephone poles are 4 feet over and shit, because it's a transform fault. Now the most dangerous fault, we don't really have a lot of it in the United States. There is some in Alaska, and of course Mount Rainier, Mount St. Helens, etc. are part of that, really. But the most dangerous is Japan, which is called a subduction zone fault.
That motherfucker.
And that's
tsunamis every year.
Yeah, and Indonesia and etc. And that's where the Pacific plate is going underneath of the Asian plate. Now, when you have an ocean plate going underneath a Pacific plate, then when it goes underneath it dips down into the mantle. So what happens when you put rock into mantle?
We're talking stuff that I don't understand, so don't ask me.
What happens when you heat up rock to 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit?
Oh no, I've never done it before.
I'm sure you've seen it on TV.
Lava?
Not that I can remember.
Or magma, as it's called when it's inside the earth.
Right.
So, it liquidates the rock. Now, what does heat do?
Burn shit.
Yeah, but what does heat even do in your house?
Warms you up.
Keep me warm.
Okay, where does it go?
Up.
Oh,
heat rises.
Heat rises. Heat rises.
Heat rises. Right. So, imagine a plate going underneath another plate.
I need to get a notebook.
And then heat rises, so that heat and all that magma go up, right?
Yep.
I mean, in theory.
Why do they have so many volcanoes and volcanic eruptions in Japan?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Because you've got the Pacific plate going underneath the Asiatic plate, then melting, then the heat rises and the magma rises, and then boom, volcano, and then you have a nuclear power plant that falls off into the sea, and you know.
Mark McCloskey.
Fucking journey to the center of the earth.
Yeah, shit happens bad and everything goes to hell.
Mark McCloskey
So-
has announced a Senate run. He's the guy that stood off all those fucking rioters out front of his house with an AR-15. And then got took to jail. And then fought his way out of it.
That only makes sense, right? So, with all of that going into the volcanoes and everything, and then spewing out the top, and we're worried about burning some gasoline or something. Yeah, okay.
The whole idea is that the emissions are what's causing the climate to go to shit. Like, no, it's a cycle, and while it may be sped up a little bit, it ain't sped up that much.
I'm gonna pull off here. I guess you meant about a horse.
Like,
yeah.
they're trying to say that we need to go all electric because, you know, strip mining is so much better than
No, it's not.
drilling for oil, and it's not. It's worse, to be honest. How much rainforest and shit has been lost while trying to mine the fucking shit
Well,
for them batteries and
there's
shit?
a lot of the rainforest that's been lost due to urbanization.
That too.
So you can't blame it all on that.
Well,
That's,
I'm not blaming it all on that. I'm saying it's
Yeah.
part of it.
It's part of it, I guess, but a very little amount.
I think what you could do is you could take all the fucking garbage since nobody seems to wants to use an incineration plant, or use those fucking strip mines that are really fucking deep to just put all our nuclear waste in.
Ugh.
Boom. Spot to store our nuclear waste. If it's already been a dug hole, all we gotta do is bury it. What a crazy thought. Might not be possible, but at least it's an idea.
Well, it wouldn't be strip mines, number one. It'd have to be
We'll
shaft
wait on
mines.
you. You got a deadhead
That too.
sometimes.
But that would happen in
We do.
Yeah,
because
there's
strip
a gas
mines are
station
normally
that's
between
scale.
60 and 120 feet deep, and when you're talking
It's
coal,
a
at least for
transport fault.
seams 6 and
Into the
5,
volcanoes and everything.
and maybe 4 in
it's
certain areas.
spewing out the top.
But
talking
shaft
like them-
shaft
And we're
mines
worried about
will go a lot
running
deeper, and they'll
some
go
gasoline
below
or
the water
something.
table.
I'm talking
Yeah,
like those
okay.
fucking big ass quarry mines you see getting just like massive fucking holes.
Deadheads.
Ground.
Right,
That
but
would
if it's
happen
below
in,
the water table,
We do.
Because
strip
then
mines are normally
you can't really
between
store it
60
there
and 120
because
feet deep.
of water
When you're
contamination.
talking coal, at least for
I believe they're doing that in Germany. They're like, what, 3 miles deep or some shit?
And maybe 4 in certain areas.
In Germany?
But
So
shaft,
there were nuclear
shaft
waste?
mines,
No,
maybe.
will go a lot deeper and they'll go
But
below
that's
the
Germany.
water table.
Germany has a different system than we do, tectonically.
They wanted to bury ours out there in Arizona. I don't know how well that would work.
Well, inside of a mountain, because that's above the water table. So. You ready, Kenny?
Hold on 1 minute. Sorry.
Oh, did you guys
All right.
stop?
Yeah.
Oh, I
I
didn't
said
know
I
you
had,
stopped.
I said I had to stop and see a man by a horse.
I wasn't even paying attention. I kept right on going.
Me?
I know.
I'm lost in thought now. You got me thinking. See what you did to me, John?
Uh-huh.
I mean, what the fuck?
If
Oh, I'm in
if you-
Salem already. Oh, damn.
If you store it in a mountain that's all sealed and you're above the water
All right,
table,
John, go
then
ahead.
that's okay.
Yeah, it's not like there's anything out there in Arizona
but-
anyway.
But
It's fucking desert.
and Native Americans, because we haven't fucked those people over enough. So,
They haven't integrated.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
their
they
fault.
have. But it's got to be somewhere safe and secure above the water table, and that's the problem with storing that in deep shaft mines is they're below the water table. And what happens when you abandon one of those? They fill up with water because there's pumps in there and stuff to keep the water out while everybody's working and getting whatever ore is out. And when they leave them, even during a reclamation project, it fills up with water and creates a lake. You want to store nuclear waste in a lake at the water table. So that's kind of a no-go project. You can't launch it in space because we don't have any vehicle that might not explode.
The only idea with that is just launch the fuck if you can get the shit right.
Yeah.
Compressed air wouldn't work to power the fucking thing because compressed air doesn't do a thing in space.
No. Well, compressed air does a lot in space, actually.
So why don't they just
Lost in space.
Lost in
why don't they just power the rockets with fucking compressed air? Wouldn't that be cheaper?
You'd have to have a big fucking
Well, no,
thing
you
to
just-
get off the ground.
I mean,
It'd have
way
to
get
be
rid of the nuclear
massive.
waste, launch it into the fucking sun.
Yeah, exactly. But
That's a lot of money too.
you
get
gotta
that
have
way.
something
Well,
reliable enough to get it up there.
We're Americans. We don't do reliable.
Yeah. Exactly.
Where the fuck is that guy
So,
going? Oh, there it goes. Okay.
can't really do that either.
There's gotta be
Really,
something we can do.
well, there is something we can do. It's not cost efficient, but there is something we can do because fission fusion has already been created, and broken down rods can be turned into fission fusion rods.
Coming up on Captain Morgan.
It's just expensive to do so. But the thing is, once you turn it into fission fusion, then it lasts forever.
All right, guys. Good night.
Night,
I'll
Steve.
see you all tomorrow.
Nice, Steve.
All right, Steve. See, I knew he wasn't gone.
Oh no.
Yeah, he's just listening.
Yeah.
He does that sometimes.
He said he had to go, so I figured he was gonna just. Yeah.
Nah.
Go.
He's sneaky.
No,
like that.
he's sneaky like that. He listens in.
It's almost like he's worried that we're gonna talk about him when he's not here, which is exactly what we're about to do.
Now we can. But no,
Conversation was boring.
once each fission fusion molecule is created, then it will last forever, because it off does energy when it's breaking down, and then when it goes back up, then it does energy doing that. So we can get energy like that forever. And technically spent fuel rods, because they're still radioactive, can do that. It's just there's not enough money in that right now. That's the problem. Just like
We got the biggest non-buried supply of waste. Just stockpiled in places.
yeah, there's no money in that though, because if you think about it, these big corporations and stuff own a lot of land that has, you know, coal and oil and stuff in it and whatever, but it's starting to dwindle. There's getting less and less of it all the time, so the big corporations are switching over to electric, and that's why they're wanting wind power and blah 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 and wave power and etc., because that's where the money is.
Keep right and then turn right.
Because we only have so much coal and we only have so much oil, and they know that. They're not stupid. You can't be stupid and make several $billion and whatever, or $1 trillion for these large corporations. So they know that. They know that fossil fuels are running out.
Hey John, guess what I did?
What?
I kept straight.
Went the wrong fucking way?
I kept straight, motherfucker.
Now you are behind me. Cool.
Yeah.
They know that. They're not stupid. So, despite what you see on the news and despite what government says and whatever, the corporations, they're not dumb. So, they're getting out of fossil fuels. And they're moving over to electric. Because we can make electricity in many different ways that has nothing to do with fossil fuel.
Solar panels?
Solar panels, wind, wave, whatever.
Yep.
And back, 40 years ago, when I was 10 years old, solar panels sucked.
They're still not great now either. They're getting better.
They're 1,000 times better than what they were back then. And I can prove it. Because if you really look and you're going down the road and stuff and you see a monitoring unit, like something with a camera on it, or a temporary stoplight, or a construction zone thing, they all have a solar panel on them to power that light or that camera or whatever. If solar power sucks that bad, why is the state using it? Out of curiosity. So, government's just.
If you're trusting the state or the government to make the right decisions, I mean, that could seem for you to go along with that, but I don't trust them to make the right decisions on things. Even
They don't make the right decisions for us, but they make the right decisions for them, don't they? How did they get raises? How did they get raises, out of curiosity?
Do we allow
Do you
them
know?
to have that power to make raises for themselves?
Yeah. We don't give them raises. They give themselves raises. So whatever's best for the state's government or for the federal government, they do it in amongst themselves. We're not clued in on that. We don't get to vote on that.
We should, but we don't.
We don't get to vote on whether they put solar power units on a stoplight. But they do. But they do. And why did they do that if it sucks? Huh.
Dude, really?
Isn't that weird? It's more expensive to run a line to whatever than it is for them to put a solar panel on it. Okay. So if that's the case, then solar power doesn't really suck all that much.
You know, your Pharaoh's theory about the torque only making a difference in these trucks,
Yeah.
I don't know. I run this truck between 1,500 and 2,000 right along up hills. She has no problem, but I get below 15 and she dies. So,
Is it a theory or a hypothesis?
I don't Whoa!
I don't Whoa!
I had 3 log trucks coming together right there. Woo! Watch it if you guys are coming through Seattle.
Well, we're gonna be here pretty soon.
You got 2 trucks tangled up in the left lane just after you pass the city on the 5.
We just went over the bridges of Stain, so we got a little bit. Maybe they'll be clear by the time we're there. No, there's a lot of disinformation in the government, in any country.
And it's hard to know what's real and what's not, especially for guys like Fluffy and I, because there's so much noise on the internet, contradictory reports all the time. So it's hard to know what's true, because at any time I can pull up a thing that says, oh, well, here's something that disproves that. And then you can go, well, here's something that does. So it's like, what
Which is which?
You don't
which
know.
is believable and which isn't. Yeah.
So it comes down to which one sounds more believable to that person.
Yeah, it's what makes more sense per person, I guess.
And if you're not an expert in that thing, you're probably going to have the wrong idea of what's correct.
Yeah. And that's why education is important. That's why education is written into this infrastructure bill that Joe Biden has proposed.
I wouldn't count education as education. I wouldn't count education as infrastructure.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Like I understand the concept, but I don't.
Well, you can't if you can't understand infrastructure because you don't have the proper education, then what's the point of having infrastructure? And it's only 2 free years of community college. It's not like he's erasing my student debt, or not like, he's erasing
He
anything.
has talked about doing, but when it came down to it, he never did it.
Mm-hmm.
Yet.
Not yet.
That's one of those
But-
empty promises we haven't gotten to yet.
Not yet.
Like the
Well, you
ending,
gotta-
ending the war on drugs and then going and banning menthols.
Well, you gotta start small.
He's taking big swings. For someone
Yeah, he
starting
is.
small.
He is, and
You
Yeah.
motherfucking rotating cocksucker
The-
bridge.
the
They can
Trumpsters,
ban menthols. I don't smoke anyway.
the Trumpsters don't like it, but I know why the Trumpsters don't like it, because he's doing more than Trump did in 4 years. I get it.
It tastes
Uh,
like cigarettes.
Tastes like cigarettes.
Alright, guys, I'm gonna head out 'cause I gotta get something.
Well, figure out your damn wheel and come and do the Thursday convoy.
Yeah, I should have it fixed by then, hopefully. But yeah, I'm gonna work on it again later, see if I can figure it out, and I will talk to you guys later.
Okay.
Alright, Malik.
Hasta la taco.
Alright, later.
Viva Las Vegas.
City lights gonna set my soul, set my soul on fire. We love Las Vegas.
Stupid fucking tugboats.
I don't care what Steve says. I don't like Fox News. That's bullshit, because the two big points that he brought up 2 days in a row.
Radio check, radio check.
Blah.
Were straight off the Tucker Carlson show.
10-4, I can hear you.
So, I know, I looked it up.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Too there, buddy.
Like, I understand why Steve would believe that's a thing. I get it. He's wrong, but
No. I get it too, but yeah.
and that's where the conversation has to start when you disagree with somebody. Even if you don't, it's like, I understand why you think that way, but you understand why I think this way. That's the way. If you just come at it with, well, you're wrong, that person's not going to listen to you. They're just
No,
not.
I know. I know. I'm more than well aware. That's why I was like, oh yeah, Joe Biden's the worst thing that's ever happened. And he's like, now you're getting it. And it's like, uh-huh. And I'm sure he could hear the sarcasm in my voice. Yeah, he's been in office like fucking 4 months, and he's terrible.
What I think was funny about Joe Biden, and I watched him say that quote about how only a tyrant rules by executive order or something like that. Then he literally goes and signs an ass ton of executive orders. I'm like, dude, you're being a stooge. Quit being a stooge. Like, he hammers Trump about executive orders, and he literally goes and does the same fucking thing. Like, you're playing yourself. Stop it.
Well,
Just stop it.
well, the thing is, Trump
you wanna put
signed so many executive orders, like reversing EPA rules and all kinds of shit that is kind of important, you know, because we don't want our groundwater polluted and shit. He reversed a whole lot of that shit. And then when a new president comes into office that disagrees with that, then they have to sign an executive order reversing that shit. And most of his executive orders aren't for new shit.
According to Wikipedia, Donald Trump signed 220.
Okay.
Joe Biden is up to 45. However, his 100 days did sign more than Trump did in the first 100. However,
Reversing
the first 100 is not definitive on any trend. 100 days is not. 2 years is you could notice a trend. 100 days is not enough to notice a trend.
Yeah. But
So,
probably
Barack Obama was 276. Bush was
they were probably the
291.
45 most
Clinton,
worst ones that
Clinton did
he was just
364.
reversing executive orders Trump signed.
Reagan was 381. Harry S. Truman was 907.
Who?
Roosevelt was 3,728 executive orders.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck.
Well, keep in mind,
That was
he was,
wartime.
keep
That was
in mind,
wartime.
no, keep in mind, that was before the 2-term limit, because FDR was a president for 4 terms.
Okay, well, I'll get well. Even still, if you put Trump in for 4 terms, his numbers wouldn't even be that high.
No.
If it stayed at the 220.
Well, Trump's not smart enough
The
to do
war didn't help because he was there till 45, April 12th, 45. So that didn't help.
that. No.
That's probably the reason for that because Harry Truman was 907, and that was the war. And if you look at all the other war presidents, like who else we got? Kennedy during the Cuban Missile Crisis, 214. That's pretty high. Dwight D. Eisenhower, 484. Who was president during the Vietnam War? Was that Carter? No,
Johnson and Nixon.
Nixon 346, Johnson 325.
Turn left.
Rutherford B. Hayes. James A. Garfield, who did literally fucking nothing, 6. Our last Whig president came in 1850 to 1853. Millard Fillmore. I didn't even know that was a fucking president.
Oh, yeah.
I know General Zachary Taylor was a president. He was the 12th president. Millard Fillmore was the 13th president of the United States, served from 1850 to 1853. He was the last Whig to serve before the party died.
No.
Let's go back to first president, George Washington, unaffiliated, so he's independent. John Adams, Federalist, which I don't know what Federalist became. I'm sure Federalist became something.
Whigs.
Whigs, they became Whigs.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas Jefferson, Democratic Republican. James Madison, Democratic Republican. James Monroe, Democratic. So the first non-Democratic Republican came with Andrew Jackson, which is not a great start. Andrew Jackson was a bit.
Oh, he was an asshole.
Martin Van Buren.
Which, when Trump came into office, he said Andrew Jackson is his favorite president. So, fun.
Andrew Jackson was the first one. Then it was Martin Van Buren. Then it was William Henry Harrison with the Whigs. John Tyler with the Whigs. James K. Polk with the Democrats. Zach Taylor with the Whigs. Millard Fillmore with the Whigs. Democratic, Democratic, Republican, Democratic, Republican, 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 Republican. Grover Cleveland, Democrat. Benjamin Harrison, Republican. Grover Cleveland, the second term, Democrat. William McKinley, Republican. Roosevelt, Republican. Howard Taft, Republican. Wilson, Woodrow Wilson, Democrat. 1800 executive orders. Roosevelt had 1,000.
Turn left.
Harding, 520. He's a Republican. Coolidge, Republican. Hoover was a Republican. Roosevelt was a Democrat. We already knew that. So was Truman. Eisenhower, Republican. Democrat. Kennedy. Johnson was a Democrat. Nixon was a Republican. Ford was a Republican. Democrat. Jimmy Carter. I thought they're comparing him to now, Biden.
Who, Jimmy Carter?
They say he shares a lot of resemblances with Jimmy Carter, how he's got his cabinet and everything set up.
It's only because he has gray hair and then doesn't color
He's
it.
white.
Yeah.
Ronald Reagan, Republican. A lot of people love Ronald Reagan. A lot of people do.
I thought he was a pretty damn good president.
George H.W. Bush, Republican.
Didn't like him so much, but I have a reason why.
Bill Clinton, Democrat. George W. Bush, Republican. Barack Obama, Democrat. Donald Trump, Republican. Joe Biden, Democrat.
I like George W. Better than his father. But
Turn right.
his father believed in voodoo economics. George wasn't that big on it, but
Yeah, for Trump's executive orders, List of
Voodoo
executive
economics
actions by Trump.
is
Go
the
straight
Laffer
on.
curve or trickle down economics, which doesn't
Right.
work.
And then turn right.
So he started out with
Turn
0
right.
for April. He was up to 180 by April
Go
2020.
straight on.
It's a steady
were they?
incline. I'm looking at the graph. It's a steady incline.
What were they though?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. The presidential memoranda. These must be all the executive orders then. Because there's... Oof. What's the difference between an executive order and a presidential proclamation? EOs. These must be executive orders then, because they're all EOs.
Yeah.
Go straight on.
There's other things he signed that weren't regarded as EOs, that they're not listed as EOs. I'll just put that one listed as EOs. There's not many. Executive order regarding the continuation
Go
of the
straight
national
on.
emergency with respect to South Sudan.
Keep left.
I don't know what
And
that
then
is.
turn left.
Regarding the continuation of national emergency with respect to significant malicious cyber-enabled
Turn left.
activities. Well, let's look at that one, because that has some relevance. By Executive Order 13694, the President declared a national emergency pursuant to the National Emergency Economic
Turn
Powers
right.
Act,
And then
50
turn left.
USC 1701-1706, to deal with
Turn right.
unusual or extraordinary threat to national
This is
security,
where it
foreign
is.
policy, and economy of the United States, constituted by increasing prevalence and severity of malicious cyber-enabled activities originating from and or directed by persons located in whole or a substantial part outside of the United States on December 28, 2016. The President issued this Executive Order
13757 to take additional steps to address a national emergency declared in Executive Order 13694. These significant malicious cyber-enabled activities continue to pose an unusual and extraordinary threat to the national security, foreign policy, and economy of the United States. For this reason, the national emergency declared April 1st, 2015 must continue in effect beyond April 1st, 2017. Therefore, in accordance with Section 202, parentheses D, of the National Emergencies Act, 50 USC 1622 D, I am continuing for 1 year the national emergency declared for executive order, blah, blah, blah. That's all this is. Just executive order for this and then continuing this. That doesn't help me anything. Doesn't tell me anything.
Look at Executive Order 13770. Revocation. Trump's executive order was 13983. It's a revocation of a constitutional law.
It's not even listed on this list. Is there more in this list? Yeah. This section needs to be updated the same. That's what I thought.
All right, here, take this one. And this is about ethics. So,
well, you already know that
one.
he's not a man on ethics. You can't trust a businessman to be a man on ethics. It's not how that
works.
Exactly. Businessmen don't have ethics by nature. That's just how they have to be to make money.
Yeah. I'm gonna get off for a little bit.
All right.
Yeah, I dropped my load, so.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, I wanted to go into political studies.
Mm-hmm. Well, I did, so.
Political. Federal Register. National Archives.
And this is executive branch appointees, not voted people, appointees.
What am I looking at?
Basically, he's saying he can appoint people to approve ethics.
Oh, yeah, no point.
Look at the PDF.
Well, which one? 'Cause there's like 8 to 10 different ones listed here.
Well,
What's the number?
13.3 is revocation of Executive Order 13770.
Oh, I got it right here.
Yeah.
Authority vested in me as President of the United States, including Section 301 of Title 3 United States Code and Sections 3301 and 7301 of Title 5. Hereby ordered as follows. Revocation Executive Order 13770 of January 28, 2017. Ethics commitments by executive branch appointees is hereby revoked effective at noon, January 20th, 2021. Employees and former employees subject to the commitments in Executive Order 13770 will not be subject to those commitments after noon, January 20th. Okay. Nothing in this order shall be constructed to impair or otherwise affect the authority granted by law to executive department or agency. Okay.
And then the next one, he's revoking VA benefits for people that served on a U.S. air base in Uzbekistan.
Damn.
One's that?
The next one.
Pure veterans with service in Uzbekistan. The Secretary of Veteran Affairs, in consultation with the Secretary of Defense, shall consider whether to designate veterans who served on active duty in Uzbekistan between October 1st, 2001 and December 31st, 2005 as veterans who served in active duty theater of combat pursuant to sections. Okay.
Within 365 days of the date of this order, the Secretary of Defense shall conduct a rigorous study investigating toxic exposures to members of the armed forces deployed in the Karshi Kamabad Air Base, Uzbekistan Air Base. So
October 1st, 01 and 05.
Basically, he's revoking VA benefits.
Well, he's
for airmen stationed at an air base.
Well, he's not really revoking it. He's consulting on whether to designate them or not. It's not really revoking it. He's not fully Secretary of Defense and the Secretary of Veteran Affairs.
Yeah, why would you even think about doing it? But
so he's not yanking them. He's leaving it up to these two guys to review it. Which Veteran Affairs, I don't know if they revoked it or not. I'm assuming they didn't because it's the VA, Veteran Affairs. There's no report on whether they did or not, is there?
But why is that?
Yeah, I will admit that makes no sense. That makes no sense. I don't know the result, whether it was approved or disapproved.